Passwords. We use them for everything, right? They're basically the front door to our entire digital lives. But let's be honest, in a world with non-stop cyber threats, is a single lock on that door really enough? Today, we're diving into that essential second layer of security, the one that can stop attackers cold, multi-factor authentication. Let's see how it all works.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start by really digging into the problem with passwords, why they just aren't cutting it anymore. Then, we'll define what multi-factor authentication, or MFA, actually is. After that, we'll look at how it's enforced smartly, talk about how to plan a successful rollout, and finally, we'll explore all the different authentication options you and your users have. All right, first up, let's talk about the very foundation of most of our security. We're going to find the cracks in that foundation that put, well, pretty much all of us at risk.
Okay, I want you to put yourself in this situation for a second. You're a security engineer. You are guarding the secret sauce, the blueprints for some game-changing new product. And you can bet there are tons of hackers out there who want to get their hands on it. You've secured the network, but you know what the weakest link always is? The user accounts themselves.
Now, look, we've tried for years to make passwords stronger. We've got complexity rules, we force people to change them all the time, we ban the easy ones like password 123, and we even use smart lockouts to stop brute force attacks. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Every single one of these protections has the exact same Achilles heel.
Yeah, what then? Because all it takes is one person falling for a phishing email, a little bit of clever social engineering, or even just a password jotted down on a sticky note, and just like that, all of those defenses are completely useless. A valid password is a valid password, and the system doesn't care how a hacker got it.
And this, right here, is where the solution comes into play. See, it's not about trying to build an even stronger front door. It's about adding a second, totally different kind of lock. That's the whole idea behind multi-factor authentication, and we're going to look at it through the lens of Microsoft Entra.
So, the most important thing to get here is that MFA adds layers. It demands more than just that password to get in. It's all built on a simple idea. Even if a bad guy manages to steal one piece of the puzzle, like your password, it's still not enough to actually get them access. And this image right here just illustrates the concept perfectly. On the left, you've got the user with their password. That's something you know. MFA says, okay, that's great, but you also need to prove your identity with a second factor from a different category. That could be something you have, like your phone, or something you are, like your fingerprint. You need both to get in. It's that simple.
Let's just quickly break those three factors down. Something you know is your classic secret, a password or a PIN. Something you possess is a physical thing that's in your control, like your phone or a security key. And something you are is all about biometrics, things that are uniquely you. By making someone provide at least two of these, you're creating a huge roadblock for any potential attacker.
Okay, so we get what MFA is. But how does the system know when to ask for that second factor? I mean, you don't want to annoy your users by asking for it every single time they log in from their own desk, right? The answer is all about smart security rules.
The secret sauce here is intelligence. Instead of just being a blunt on or off switch, MFA is applied using these smart rules. In the Microsoft world, they're called conditional access policies, and they're basically the brains of the whole operation.
And the logic is actually incredibly simple. It all boils down to this if-then statement. For example, if a user is trying to log in from an unfamiliar country to access, say, the main financial app, then they absolutely must provide that multi-factor authentication. This lets you apply that extra strong security exactly where and when you need it most.
And what's really cool is that this isn't just some abstract concept. This slide shows you where the magic happens inside Microsoft Entra. You can see the fields right there where you set up the if conditions, who the users are, what apps they're accessing, and then the then action, which in this case is to grant them access, but only after they complete that extra MFA step.
So you're sold on the idea. You're ready to implement MFA. That's fantastic. But you can't just flip a switch for thousands of users overnight. That's a recipe for a support ticket nightmare. A successful deployment needs a strategy.
The best practice here is always a phased approach. You start small with a pilot group, maybe your IT department, to test everything out and iron out any wrinkles. Once you've got their feedback and things are running smoothly, you start expanding the rollout in waves. And maybe the most important part, you have to communicate every step of the way so users know what's coming, why it's important, and exactly what they need to do. So when a user does get prompted for that second factor, what does that actually look like?
Well, the great news is we've moved way beyond just getting a text message with a code. There are a bunch of modern, secure, and user-friendly options to choose from.
You've got great options like the mobile app notification, which is probably the most user-friendly. It's just a simple approve or deny tap on your phone. For maximum security, there are physical FIDO2 security keys, which are basically unphishable. You've also got Windows Hello, which uses the face or fingerprint scanner built right into your device. And of course, a simple call to a phone is always a reliable backup option.
And the beauty of this whole system is the flexibility. An organization doesn't have to lock everyone into just one method. Admins can turn on a whole menu of these options and then let users choose and register the ones that work best for them and their daily workflow. It's a win-win.
So, we'll end with this thought. We live in a world where one stolen password can lead to an absolute catastrophe for a company. Layering your security with something like MFA isn't just a nice-to-have anymore, it's essential. The real question isn't whether you can afford to implement it, it's whether you can afford not to.